What's up, YouTube? GC Off-Road. Down here in the basement, going through some junk and different boxes. You can see I just cleaned out this cabinet over here, or I've been cleaning it out. And I found an old steel bracket kit from a flat screen TV that I never used. I got to looking around, and I'm needing a set of brackets for a high lift jack that I can mount to my roof rack. And I got to thinking, a little bit of cutting and welding on these, and I could make a set of brackets. So I'm gonna sit here and drop some ideas and see if I can figure out a way to turn these scrap brackets here into a jack mount. Here's a rough sketch I did just a minute ago for what my idea is. So what I was thinking about doing is coming right here and cutting this section out, just cutting that center hole out all the way across and make it flat here, and then cut the same over here to make it flat. And then I'd take and come over here, use the angle grinder and cut these tabs off the side here, and then I'd be left with two pieces that from the side look like that right there. And then I would come in right here and notch this out and this out, so it coincides with the top and bottom rail on my roof rack. Then I'd go through and put a bolt through. In this case, it'd probably be the hole right here in the center. I'd bolt it all together and then run a bead around it down here with a welder, weld it in place. And then I'd add two nuts, one on top and one on bottom of that center peg. And then I have the face plate, which is just this piece right here, which would slip over the front. And then you would tighten these bolts down inside of it, and they would come together and sandwich together around the rails. Then what you're left with is this peg sticking out on the side of this bracket. So you then take and use a washer and a spacer, that way the high lift offsets from the front and it don't hit the roof of the Jeep or hit the side of the rails. Then you'll have another washer and a wing nut to secure it onto the rack with. That's the idea I have. I'm gonna go out here in just a little bit. The sun's just now coming up, so I'm gonna go outside here in a little bit and try to round up all the nuts and bolts and other hardware, and then I guess we'll start cutting these brackets out and see if that is gonna work or not. I ain't got much filming done in the last few, but what I've done is I've got these brackets cut out pretty close to where they need to be, and then I just drilled these holes out in the center so that bolt would fit through, and that's the stud that the jack will sit on. So now I'm gonna go through and weld all these plugs and weld the other bolts together and throw it together and test fit it. Got them both welded up on the sides. They ain't the prettiest, but they're gonna get ground down. I'm still learning how to use this flux core welder. Anyways, everything's already ready to go. I'm just waiting on that to cool off so I can take it up the hill to the Jeep and test fit it. Alright, and there they are. It's my high lift jack mounts, homemade. I've got to shorten the bolts right here down a little bit, get them closer to flush, and the nut end will be on the inside later on, but I ain't climbing up to do that when it's just temporary. I've got to buy a couple of washers for the the main bolt here, and a couple of nuts and lock washers for it. Then I gotta go and sand it down all the way, clean the welds up, and then shoot it with a coat of bed liner or black paint 1. Anyways guys, there's my newest build, my homemade high lift jack mounts. There you have it, my homemade high lift jack mounts for my basket rack. Anyways guys, that's gonna be the end of this project. Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.